The next step in our journey leads us to the lower church. To get to it, you need to walk down a staircase located to the right of the transept in the upper church.
We are now in the lower church, so the shrine has been building from down to up, and there are two churches, lower church and upper church. The most important fresco, they are Byzantine style, beginning of the 13th century. There are four evangelists, but the difference between 13 and 16, here there are no perspective, and here the body is together with the symbol. You can see the body is a human, the wings represent the holiness, and the symbolize is together with the body. St. Matthew is an angel, our Lord is symbolized with a lamb, holy lamb. Here on your upstairs right side, you can have St. Luke is a bull, and here Mark is the lion. You saw before fresco for the beginning of the 13th century. These frescoes are half of the 13th century. So between this fresco and the other fresco, there are 50, 70 years difference. So you can see straight away the colors. Look, for example, the characters, the wings of these characters. Our Lord here is not representing anymore as a lamb. He's a Christ Pantocratico. The pilgrims supposed to come here, pray in the cave by knees down these stairs, and when they arrive here, they receive the benediction of our Lords. And then, through the benediction, they could pray easy to the cave. Then they use it to go to the upper church and receive the Mass. That was the pilgrimage of the medieval time.
In the lower church, there are three distinct areas and the holy steps. On both sides of these steps, a series of frescoes walk the pilgrim all the way down and remind him of an objective reality in his life, death.
That's the holy stairs. As I told you in the beginning, in the medieval time, pilgrims arrive only for praying in the shrine. So by knees, they go to the cave, and then they go to the upper church and they receive the Mass. Okay, on these stairs, they paint a very strange frescoes. The title of this fresco is The Triumph of the Dead. So you can see here the dead arrive fast. So fast, in that time, meaning horse. She has two weapons. Those people are dead, those people are dying. But look, those people, they are talking, their shoes, mantle, their hawk. Let me say, high society of the 13th, 14th century. Beneath the horse, you can have the low society, the pilgrims. As I told you, they were poor. So you can see they're old, look the way they were. And they are ready to die. So what happened? The dead doesn't care about them. And they ask, you see, they talk. This style in Italian we call fumetto. If I translate fumetto, mean cartoon. So, why do you kill young and rich people? We are old and poor. Take me, let in peace the other. The dead answer, I prefer to take those people, they are not afraid from me. This fresco goes to the other side of the wall. On the other side, you have the preacher. He's still talking to the young and rich people. And he especially talked to those people, and he tell him, look how you are today. You are beautiful, you are rich, you are very important, but remember that one day you will be like that. So that's the three stages of the dead. So what's the message of these frescoes? It was painting 700 years ago, but today still nothing changed. Because there is only one reality in the world. I mean, for Christians, there's also the resurrection, right? But not all of people in the world believe to the resurrection. But all the people in the world have to believe to the dead. So no matter who you are, young, old, rich, poor, remember that one day you will die.
Once we get to the second series of arches, it's the beating heart of the monastery, St. Benedict's Cave, also known as the Cave of Prayer.
This is the place what we call Sacro Speco, Holy Cave. because Benedict lived 3 years in the deep prayer and meditation. In the beginning, he was alone, because eremitic means desert, means alone. But many people know him and they bring him food. And his knowledge was so high that people, for example, shepherds, they used him to come inside the cave to take some fresh. In the summertime, they also bring him some food. And Benedict, he thanks them. He had nothing to give him back, and he tells them about Christ. He educated the shepherds. And the shepherds, they were so happy that always they crossed this mountain, they came to talk and pray with Benedict. And so the shepherds give the news to the nearby towns. And many people arrive here. And in the end of the 3 years, that's the time Benedict stands in this cave, he understood that many people had to be educated. That's why he wrote the rule. This statue is very important because it has been made by a great artist. The name was Antonio Raggi. And let me say, he was a great disciple of Bernini. So let me say, this is a Bernini style. Benedict is representing very young. He has a silver feet. Because, during the permanence of Benedict here, till today, imagine millions and millions of pilgrims arrive here to pray by knees. That's why they consume the rock, Yeah, so Benedict representing with arm crossing in his breast, adoration, the cross. And the basket is a symbol of people who bring in food.
Before we end our journey, Don Maurizio leads us to the third area of the lower church. From here, by way of a spiral staircase, you gain access to St. Gregorys Chapel, where a treasure of great historical importance is kept.
The most important frescoes here is the portrait of St. Francis of Assisi. So Francis of Assisi arrived here in the years 1223 to pray in the cave. As you know, Francis will receive the stigmata in the years 24, and he died 26. So when he arrived here, he didn't have the stigmata. So what happened? That the abbot of that time, he saw Francis, and he says to the monk, he was a chronist, write in the chronic that Francis arrived here. And he called a painter from Subiaco to make him the portrait. And the fresco you can see inside a protecting glass and a camera watch him 24 hours. Because it's very important. In the world, it's only one time a fresco representing Francis in life. So in these frescoes, you can see another kind of Francis. Frescoes, he doesn't have the stigmata. He doesn't have the halo. And on his hand, he has a word, Pax Huic Domui, peace in this place. He came here to pray in the cave. So it was important, Francis, because we talk about the Francis 3 years before he died. Everybody knows, even in Europe, about St. Francis. So always he goes somewhere, people know him straight away, and they want to touch him or to talk him. And the abbot, he recognized him. He says straight away to the monks, write on the chronics, to remember the other people that we received Francis in this monastery. Oh, that's why he called also the painter. Because this is the only important man have been painting in life in this fresco. Cardinals, popes. But Francis, it was cardinal, it wasn't popes. It was Francis.